K1 Gibson here, founder of K1 Inspiration International. So excited about this segment this week. Man, all the way from the Bahamas, yes, that's where I'm stationed. And I'm just excited to be able to be in your personal space, your brand mentor, life skills global ambassador. Listen here, we have a special guest. But K1 News always say that, but I got a lot of special people that I'm connected to. But she is all the way from the UK. Listen, all the way from the UK. Now you know. That's why I had to put on my white today. I couldn't put on my black because I had to switch it up. She is an awakening growth ambassador, Marcela Onyx. And I'm going to give her the opportunity to just introduce herself to this platform and my audience. Go ahead, Marcela.
Thank you so much, first of all, for the invitation to be here, K1. And thank you so much to you all that are watching and will watch this video later. Okay, so I am an awakening and growth ambassador. And as a catalyst of transformation, I help people to unravel and hear what's holding them back and harness their inner power and strength to overcome obstacles and bring sparks of awareness so they can feel happier and more confident to fall in love with themselves, to transform their lives, relationships, and intimacy, and realign with their life purpose, to be able to manifest their desires, evolve, inspire, and create a better world for themselves. I'm also a skilled helper and a professional practitioner qualified in different areas of personal development. I am an author, spiritual medium, an artist, teacher. Yes, I do have many other hats, so please do have a look on my website, marcelaonyx.com. At the This Is Me page, you can find out all about me. Thank you.
Man, Marcela, so glad you took the time in your busy schedule and you're 5 hours ahead of me here in the Bahamas. So the sacrifice, I just want to say I appreciate it. Well, off the cuff, no fluff. We like to get right into it because that is what our audience expect from us. We're here talking about strategies to awake to life, love, and intimacy. Life, love, and intimacy. Life, which is priceless. Love, which all of us in our right mind want to be able to experience on a daily, personally, and daily. And we're getting into intimacy. Wow. I thought, from our connection, I just thought I thought this topic was so important because for a lot of us, and a lot of people, I should say, they're going through life not being fulfilled. And a lot of people, especially after experiencing bad relationships, give up on love. Give up on love. And, when we're talking about intimacy, that's a whole different level because at the end of the day, we are social creatures and we want to be able to connect, have divine, meaningful connections. So, Marcella, just touch a little bit on before we go and dig a little deeper, how important you feel this topic is, knowing your journey.
So, my whole life experience have inspired and motivated me to be at service, supporting others. And in doing that, through my path, I had so many people that said to me, you can't be a master of just one thing. And I'm glad to say that I can. I can be a master of anything I choose to. And that's a message for you too. Do believe in yourself. So I just would like to talk a little bit about, so you'll be able to understand why I am on this mission. So I grew up and my mom, she actually couldn't raise me. So from 6 months old, my adoptive mom have raised me with so much love, but also lots of overprotection. And I only got to know my full or part of the story. Mom was comfortable to tell me when I was 21. And then she said, now you're 21. I cannot hold you back anymore. You are ready to take full responsibility of your life. And I was like, oh my God, full responsibility of my life. What does that mean? Let me find out for myself. So I start traveling and embarking on that journey to find out a little bit more about who am I, and try to understand why sometimes I had grow up feeling that I didn't belong to the place where I had been born.
Wow.
And yeah. And I would say I don't have just one story. My life is a whole novel. So I can only share with all of you just a little glimpse of a few chapters. So let's, please.
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So let's just jump to the adulthood. So before I actually met my soulmate, which unfortunately is my late husband, I had everything in life, but I didn't have love. I had an amazing career, money, friends, wonderful family, but I was single that time for 5 years. So when I met my late husband online, he was a widower. He literally just had lost his first wife. When we met, it was just after 2 months of that tragedy. And he had 2 boys, 1.5 and 3.5 years old. And after we have met in person, a month later, I moved from Brazil to UK, and I just embraced that family as mine with so much unconditional love. And through
Go ahead.
So through married life, which was over 12 years old, you go through that stage that you want that love, you want the connection, you go to the phase that you're trying to understand what is living together. Because bear with me, I left one country and woke up in another one, and from night to day, from executive, I was changing nappies. And I had to try to understand what actually is just be and have a family, and how to build that, and how could I get that family that was broken into pieces and give my unconditional love and be able to give them the strength that they need and go through so many challenges they have faced. And
And that is, it's so profound because
yes.
it is in our survival and our healing and in our thriving. First, we have to survive it, we have to heal from it, and then thrive.
Absolutely.
So, knowing more than the audience about just background story, it really helps me to understand why love and intimacy is so important, especially being, the journey you've had to overcome. And so it doesn't amaze me with, after you're doing so much of the inner work, it doesn't amaze me that you have this passion to give back, this passion to heal, and being qualified, certified in your field. It's not that you just pop up today on Facebook or pop up today and you don't have the qualifications and the background. So that's so important. Awakening. Now, you have coined this word. A matter of fact, I have friends. Dazon, she was on, and her brand is undefeated. And anytime I think about that word, I think about how I have another friend, Ricardo. He is effective living. And when I think about this word awakening, it's like a part of you. It's give us a little more understanding of why awakening is so important to you.
I would say I had to awaken, and I started this journey in 2008. I wanted to find out more, about spirituality. I want to be able to heal the traumas, the limitations that I had, and heal my heart to be able to be at service and helping other people. That for me work from a place of love and integrity was the most important thing at that time. So I worked really hard, developed myself, and unfortunately, I have lost my late husband, and it was really traumatic for me and for our kids. And it was a time that I have lost myself again.
Wow.
Completely lost myself. I am not different from people that say that they don't want to be here in this world anymore. You do have those thoughts because you think the love of your life is somewhere else, and maybe there's somewhere else is better than where you are. But I had to find my strength. I need to remember who I am. I need to reawaken myself. I had to reawaken myself again to fall in love with myself, to fall in love with life, to want to live life. Then I had to remember my why I'm still here. I had to remember my purpose. And now I'm living my purpose. I'm out there
Wow.
showing myself to the world.
Marcela is so
And
what is so
that's what
amazing,
motivates.
sorry, what is so amazing is, I'm very careful of, um, flattery is a serious thing. And, but when you have persons that operate,
Mm.
um, it's nearly like understanding the lion. You don't, the lion operates as who God has called him to be. So, it's so valuable. It's so important that persons like yourself, when I bring on the show, and there's going to be thousands of persons going to be hearing this, and a matter of fact, millions over a period of time. So to help somebody who might be experiencing, that trauma, that loss, and they're right in the midst of it, and life doesn't make sense. I remember when I couldn't walk. That was confusing psychologically. Young man, about 25 years ago, um, 25 years ago, the older you get, you start mixing up the years. So for somebody who might just be in the midst of something that is so, traumatic, um, just say a little. I just say a little word, just say a little point, just say a little encouragement right there to that person who might be experiencing what you might have experienced before you got did that inner work.
Hmm. What I can say is, I don't know you. I don't know what you're feeling. I know what I have been through. And if you do resonate with my story, all I can say to you is ask for help and believe that yes, life is worth it to live it. Believe that you are being given another chance every single day to make the most of your life. And we all are here to grow, to learn together, to connect, to inspire other people. But we also are here to be able to find that love within ourselves. We also are here to be able to grow as a human being, as a spiritual being, and no one should have any power over you. Only you can control your thoughts, your emotions. No one can do the job for you. You need to find that strength as I have found my strength. Just believe in yourself as I believe in you.
Wow. And that was powerful. And I would just add to that and to tell them, take it bit by bit, step by step, bit by bit. Strategies. Let's get into our strategies for tonight, for this evening, or the good morning, whenever somebody might be listening to it. Developing self awareness, how important that is
Mm. So,
in our life journey.
without the self awareness, you cannot empower yourself. You're giving your happiness away. You're not taking responsibility for your own life. you put yourself in a vulnerable position, because if you believe that the world needs to change, well, you don't have the power to change the world, but you have the power to change your inner world, to change yourself. And the best way to do that is through the self-awareness journey. Empower yourself, allow yourself to understand what are your triggers. Sit with your emotions, your feelings. Try to understand what they actually mean to you. And find what is your why, your purpose. Understand what are your values. Because once you go through that journey, you just start that journey, you will start to feel absolutely unstoppable, because you realize that whatever people tell you is just their opinion. You will know within your core, within yourself, who you are and where you want to be. So that's what I'm saying. It's so powerful. No one can empower you. I cannot empower you. You are the only one that can empower yourself. It's all about choices. Make the right choices, make the wrong choices. It doesn't matter. You will learn your lessons. You'll be able to move on. You will be on that growth journey, which is an amazing one to be.
Um, you're so full and so potent. I want to go back to, because we hear this word a lot, and triggers.
Mm.
You know, for some that it might not have an understanding of triggers. We're not talking about hairspray triggers. We're not talking about gun triggers. We, you know, let's get the define or get a little, give us a little more as regards to how important it is to understand and identify triggers.
Mm.
Because with me, I
Yeah.
found sometimes my son would say something, and because I'm thinking he going in a certain direction or going, um, I would be aggravated before he even finish the conversation, and I have to, because I'm working. I'm Marcela. I working on myself. I'm there. I'm on a journey. I'm on a journey. So talk to us about the importance of identifying, understanding triggers, and um, then we'll go in a different direction.
Mm. If you think about triggers, you can say that every single minute a trigger can happen. If you
Mm.
wake up and you wake up on the wrong side of the bed and someone just gives you a good morning, you think, good morning for who? Because you have triggered something on you. You're going to make yourself a coffee and you spill your coffee on your beautiful, ready to leave the house. So again, that have triggered something on you that is a negative emotion. But you also can have positive triggers too, which is associated with, great memories that you have. So this is why it's so important you know what you're thinking, what you're feeling, because no one else can tell you what has caused that specifically trigger. Because otherwise, if I say something to you and you don't recognize that within yourself, you're not fully aware, you're not going to be able to move on. So you are the one that need to be in charge and understand what actually that trigger mean to you, that specifically one that has left you upset or has left you extremely excited. We all understand what can lift our energy vibrations and what can put us in a situation that we feel a little bit more upset, frustrated.
Wow. Um, what really you highlight, what really came to mind is, and I'm thankful because it's reminding me too, which all of this is is so important to continue with the inner work, because it's always easy for us to see others' faults. I was with a customer today, and because I have some level of being immune to them and don't nitpick at everything they said. She acknowledged something she said to me today, and she said, I shouldn't have even said that. And I was like, wow, I didn't even pick that up, that she said something that she shouldn't really said. But what really stand out to me was that she had that inner strength, that authenticity, that courage to say, hey, I should not have said that. And I told her, even as, because, in sales, you're not going to always say the right thing in life. And, you know, it's so easy to see the faults, and especially, persons like myself. I can say things directly. That's something I'm working on. Because talk is important, but I could coin it directly. I'm trying to do my best to improve my talk level and my, approach, because at the end of the day, we on a growth journey. But she identified something she said, and I said to her, sometimes you just need to, what I call, throw water. If you have a fire, you could throw gas, or you could throw water. And sometimes an apology is like water on a fire, but the person have to be aware. Back to what you said, you have to be aware that they have to be careful, because in one environment, a word can mean something. In another environment, the word doesn't mean, it's not an insult coming from a person. Someone could be asking you, why are you wearing that color, before they compliment you. And someone could be saying, why are you wearing that color? And they go in to say, I don't like the color. So let me give you an opportunity to talk.
I like where you're going. So I'm just going to give you a little example. So my first language is actually Portuguese, from Brazil. So when I moved to UK, although my English was good, I had this way to just speak what I'm thinking, which I still have, I must say. But sometimes it can be perceived as a too directly speech. However, what you do in this situation, do you change yourself because you're trying to adapt, or are you trying to comply with certain rules or expectations? Because the other person, they don't know you. They don't know what you're going through. They don't know how have been your path, your journey, your day. So I think it's always about trying to remember that we all are different individuals, and we must just accept ourselves as we are, with our perfections and imperfections, because we are imperfect beings. That's the reality. And if we all come from a place of non-judgment and
Yes.
try our best to mind our own business, which is a challenge, well, the world would also be a wonderful and better place.
Hey, because sometimes with us caring, we caring to share knowledge with someone, with actuality, we're not realizing we overstep boundaries getting in their business. And um, I remember one time, I was in a parking lot and trying to uh, give a gentleman a little tip and so forth. And then afterward, I walk off and I said, man, he probably think I was jumping in his business. So, and that really, at this stage and age of my life, I realized that awareness is so important. That awareness. When should we start moving forward after experiencing loss? Is there a time frame? Because there's a time to mourn, but technically is 1 week, 1 month, 6 months, um, a year, 2 years of mourning and not wanting to socialize. At what stage we should, come to a point where we realize, hey, this is not a good position I'm in, and I need to reach out.
That's a very, very good question. And I prefer to give you my feedback as a human being based on my own experience with loss and not what books say. So, first of all, I haven't allowed myself to be influenced by other people's experience. And I allowed myself to sit with my pain for as long as it was necessary. So, one of the things that I have done with my own process was just sit down and an hour just talking about my feelings, how I was feeling, how much I was missing my loved one. And most of the time I was just crying and crying and crying. Then I also have watched it, and that has helped me a lot because I did not like it to see that version of myself that was feeling so powerless, without hope. And watching that, I felt so sorry for that version of myself that I just wanted to hug and give so much love and care. So everyone will have a different experience with loss, with grief, because it also depends on how much that person or that situation, because loss and grief can also be related to lose of a job, or maybe if you had like something recently that I'm supporting with, someone has been denied the right to see the son, and the person is an amazing father, but unfortunately the other person is only interested on the financial support she can have. So this man is also going through grief. No one have died, but he has been denied the right to see the sun. So there's so many different ways that grief can come anytime to anyone. There is no time frame, and only you can decide. No one can tell you. It's your own journey. But I also would like to say that it's your choice to decide when you feel you're ready. Because sometimes we think, yes, I am ready. And you put yourself out there, you start doing things for yourself, and then grief just comes. And it's absolutely normal. Just sit again with those emotions. Acknowledge that loss is only a loss of something physical. Because if you think about energy and the opportunity that you had to live a life with someone, to share moments with someone, you also need to put yourself in a place of gratitude because you had a blessing. Someone has been a blessing in your life, or you have been a blessing in someone else's life. And how wonderful it is. And just think about, how can I use now this love that I have for someone, is spreading that love to myself first, and when my cup is still full, you can also extend that to someone else that may need any type of support from you. It can be just a smile. It can be a terrible joke that's going to make them laugh. It doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be money. Money is just something that is energy. There is no better energy than the energy of love. Never forget.
Wow, wow, wow. That's powerful. That is powerful. We need to coin that and make sure we do a picture post with that. This, the steps to move forward. What are some of the things an individual can do to improve the healing, improve recovery? And of course, my mom died over 20 years ago, and I found myself, sometimes I'm on the red light and I shed a tear. And she passed us over 25 years ago. So I'm saying that to say there might never be something what we call 100% healing. And sometimes people are very harsh on us and saying that we should get over it or that was in the past. But what are the things we can do to help bring healing and help bring recovery after experiencing such loss?
You need to find out what's this new version of yourself love. You start with simple things, listening songs that you know will bring you uplifting memories. Music is so healing. Try to do activities that will uplift you. If it's yoga, if it's dance, or if it's just go out and slowly start seeing a couple of friends that mean a lot to you. I took probably 2 months for properly speak with my own family. So that's what I'm saying. Everybody will be in a different healing journey, but you need to find out who is this new version of you want to be. Allow yourself to go through that journey. And if you can avoid to listen, loads of advice that will help you with your own mental health state.
One of the things I've realized and research shows that learning new things and getting in different environments. Um, for instance, if you're going through something and you have a same routine, um, you're laying down in a dark room with dark sheets, and um, you just ball up in the bed. It's a whole different experience. Maybe going from a walk, going on the beach, where there's a beach, going where you can see sceneries. And like you said a while ago, these are some of the things that can really make a difference because you're focusing now on the new environment. You're focusing now of nature and the simplicity. Like one of my businesses really got hit hard in pandemic, but what it did for me was it helps me to appreciate the customers and the income I'm making now. So it's important for us to really um, find the positives through the negatives. It's like this. It's like the saying, "There's a silver lining behind every dark moment." Um, what what really resonates a lot with you and what I feel is a natural aura flowing from you is the sincerity and the authenticity. Um, let's talk a little bit about how important it is for persons to be honest with themselves.
Wow. That's a challenge. That's a really hard process.
Mhm.
Who wants to admit your own flawness? That is so true. Because for you to be honest with yourself, you need to be able to be gentle, first of all.
Oh,
You need, yes, be gentle, be kind. Don't
let's,
go too
let's
far.
keep the thought. Um, I I realized I used to be so hard on myself,
Mm,
and well, I guess we could tie in gentleness and kindness, but please don't lose the thought because I jumped in because so many of the things you're saying just reminds me of the journey and some of the hardships I had to walk through, rediscovering and myself and having to. I'm still doing the inner work,
mm,
but man, we really can't be too hard on ourselves, and we shouldn't say negative words. Oh, I'm stupid, and even if you don't say the words outwardly, you can't think it. Oh, I'm stupid, 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 stupid. And to some people, even if it's a joke, So when you say being kind and gentle, wow. Go on, Marcela, go on.
So you also need to have self-compassion.
Now,
Yes.
Marcela, you peeling away, you know. You have me in therapy in this session. This wow, compassion.
Indeed. That's the path for the honesty.
Wow. And it's amazing, hey, we can be gentle and kind and compassionate with others. And we can rub them on the back, we could hug them. But sometimes we don't hug ourselves.
So you also need to be willing to be your best friend. Yes. Yes.
Say that again.
You need to be willing to be your best friend.
One more time.
You need to be willing to be your best friend.
Now, someone, just for the thought of someone saying, well, you think I'm crazy, eh? Because, and even as we go into Bible-based scripture, you can't love your neighbor if you don't love yourself. You can't give love if you're not, I mean, it's hard to give love. You can't give away something you don't have. Marcela, you stopped me in my tracks. That's
What is more profound than love? And people sometimes they believe they go through their own life without know that they have been loved. But you look yourself in the mirror and you say to yourself, I love you. You are perfect, imperfect. I love to have fun with you. I just love to speak nonsense things with you. And you know what? You and I, we are our best friends. I love you.
wow. Wow. And if we're gentler, if we're kind, if we have compassion with ourselves, if it brings us into a better relationship of really saying it, can I sum it up?
Absolutely. Go on.
With this expression, and you could fix it. I know you could put a cherry and you're in that bar. You could, you sit down and you say, you got some flaws, but you're all right, man. You're all right. And we must sell you really peeling away, because for me to better help persons to pull their brand out, which is really tied to who they are and the purpose and their what they have to offer to the world authentically. Sometimes I have to say, listen, send me 10 to 20 good things about you. You know how much persons couldn't think about it, but operate in it? Because if we are so hard on ourselves, we can't see our strengths. And if we can't see our strengths, we can't bring affirmation and appreciation to ourselves, because now we're always looking at where we fall short. And of course, it's easy for other persons to see our faults and try to highlight it, because the more I can make you focus on your faults, the better I can feel about myself. And a lot of people operate in that realm.
I like that. I just would like to share a little story. So within my own journey of healing from the grief, I was kind of harsh with myself because I have set up some goals and some deadlines. I was thinking, oh my God, I'm supposed to have my website done by now. I'm supposed to have this done and this done, and I haven't done. And then was in one of the hypnotherapy sessions that I have done, that my friend said to me, I listed 8 things that you have achieved, but you focus on what you have not achieved. And I said, oh my God, these 8 things I have achieved, they mean a lot. They was like huge things. So I realized that they don't help us. They can put us under so much pressure. So I love to say that instead of I have goals, I have something that I look forward to achieve.
That's real good.
And what a wonderful way, because when you think about when you wake up, what sort of goals I'm achieving today, for me that sounds really boring. It has a huge responsibility on it. But when you say, what am I looking forward to achieve today? That for me has a wonderful positive energy and means much more than just having goals.
Well, what I had to learn to do was celebrate
Hmm?
the victories, and sometimes I do that daily. Sometimes I do that the end of the week. Small things. Sometimes I'll say, you did what you feel like drinking today, or get a little chocolate bar, or get something small. But what it does for me is it helps me to enjoy something that reminds me you're enjoying something because you did something, some things, you got some things done. And that keeps my appreciation of knowing that I'm accomplishing some things. And yes, sometimes we procrastinate, sometimes we don't get to do what we want to do. But beating up yourself,
Yeah.
it's not going to help. And, I critique myself very harsh. But at the end of the day, if that's not some level of balance, that's not going to benefit me. Now, having to deal with all walks of life, all ages, um, having to be being exposed to different nationality, um, how important intimacy is
Hmm.
for the human.
So intimacy, it is into me I see. So intimacy, it's about you start looking into yourself, because you cannot expect to have a real intimate relationship with someone if you don't know yourself, if you don't know how to express who you are, what are your needs, what are your expectations within that relationship. You don't know how to connect because you don't even know how to connect with your own self.
Wow, wow, wow. That's we you. Well, we're coming back to do the book review, and we definitely you can't say no about the masterclass session. Um, we got about 4 to 5 more minutes before we close off.
Okay.
What one, two, three things you want to leave with the audience? That person who has resonated with your story, your presentation, your aura, and truly your sincerity just flows out of your soul. What one, two, or three nuggets you would want to leave with them?
So I would say be you, be brave, be love, because when you can be yourself without worry about how the world will perceive you, because you'll know on your core value who you know your values, you know you are good enough, and you know you are on an awakening journey, because awakening is every single day, it's an ongoing process. Be brave to show up to the world however you would like. Understand what are your rules, your standards, You also have personal responsibility. Don't play the victim. Let others play this game, but not you. You are better than that, so be brave. And be love. Because if there is just one thing that you can be in this world, it is be love. And if today you still don't know what love is, or you have some sort of idea, well, what I can say to you, love is amazing. Love is, it's magical, but it needs to come from you, from within. Because if you give your happiness and your expectations and wait for someone to give to you the love that only you know what it means to you, how do you want to feel that love, it may never happen. No one else can do mind reading. They are not on your skin. They don't know what you feel. How do you think? So it's your responsibility to find that love, feel that love so unconditionally that you can be the best version of that love to your partner, to your children, to the people that you choose to have in your life. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Awakening and Growth Ambassador. Don't forget to tell us about the book. We're going to be doing a book review.
Okay.
Give us a little snippet about the book and how to reach you. And um, we can take it from there.
Okay. So this is my first book, Awaken to Embrace Vulnerability and Sexuality. You should be receiving the copy. So this one should be available now. And I'm already working on my second book, which actually was my first one, but I had to give a little priority to other things, but it's called Awakening. Your truth is what matters. And I also have many other projects in my. I also have it's Stickers Game. It's a social Sunday that I do every Sunday at 8 p.m. UK time. You're more than welcome to reach out to my website and find out how you can join. So it's something that I make myself available to support people that also have a message, but somehow they feel that they need to work on feel confident to be able to speak. So this is very different. If you come, you'll see this is just about learn, grow. Everybody that comes does love it. So you can also find out everything about my service on marcelaonyx.com.
All right. Thank you, Marcela. Appreciate it.
Thank you, K1.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Our Awakening Growth Ambassador, Marcela Onyx, all the way from the UK. Connect with her. She can help you if you need to. We're going to, her link, it's going to be, I'm going to place a link. Feel free to connect with her, reach out to her, and find out how she can help you get through your trauma, how she can help you get to the next level. Find out more about the services she offers. I'm K1 Gibson, your host for Off the Cuff No Fluff. So delighted to be in your personal space one more time. Brand Mentor Life Skills Global Ambassador. Let's connect. Let me help you get your brand, take your brand to the next level so we can move into marketing and networking. Don't forget, continue to build you, continue to be you, and continue to build others. Thank you, Marcela. Appreciate it. We're gonna be back, and you sure got to be back. And we're gonna let the audience know because we're going into that book review. And listen here, she is a blessing, and you know how we do it here. Off the cuff, no fluff. Authenticity is our core value. A lot of us have already been through some things. We don't need no fluff in this game. So until we meet again.